This is Michael Muller, and I'm here with Republican candidate John Carroll for the 114th House District here in North Carolina. Welcome, John.
Thank you very much.
Can you tell me a little bit today about why you're choosing to run against Representative Fisher?
Well, I think we're going to need a change in Raleigh. I think everyone recognizes that the state of North Carolina is in a ditch. We're going to start out with a $3 billion deficit. We have serious unemployment problems. We're going to have to try to combine the resources of all the entities of government and be able to try to figure out how to have a government that can provide the services for the people. Biggest problem that we're going to face, of course, is education, since education represents 57% of the budget. My background as a classroom teacher, assistant principal, school board member here in Buncombe County, Schools Foundation president. My background is education, and I recognize that if we're going to have the employment that we need in North Carolina, we have to educate the people. It's going to become more and more of a challenge with these limited resources. So we're going to have business people. I have 30 years of business, over 30 years of business experience running my own business, and I feel like that it's time for people that are not trying to become a professional politician to go to Raleigh, serve, come back home, be involved in their community like I've been involved in this community all my life as a volunteer and all kinds of things, and understand the human needs that are out there, as well as be able to manage a very difficult budget and be able to still provide the things that are necessary for people to have in, provide the services that people are needing in North Carolina.
It would be difficult to have both, though. So where would you cut in the budget? What would be some of your targets?
Well, I don't want to say what I'm going to be willing to cut. I think we're just going to have to determine where the inefficiencies are in government and be able to capitalize on those inefficiencies. As I've said, my big priority is education, and so there's going to have to possibly be some cuts in education. There's probably going to have to be cuts in lots of things. It's hard to say. It's going to become a balancing act. What you have to do is trust me as your representative that I can be able to balance those priorities. I've done so in the past. I was involved in helping get this half-cent sales tax passed back in the early 80s to build all the schools that had been built in Buncombe County. I was chairman of the school board when we got that put through in Raleigh, and be able to do that without raising ad valorem taxes. That's the property taxes. So there are ways in which you can do things. It's just that you have to be creative, and you have to look for them. You have to be diligent. You can't just kind of go along with the crowd. You have to stand up and have some leadership. And I think I have those qualities, and I'm into this thing to help people of North Carolina at a very critical period of time, because I think it's time for the average man that's not just a professional politician to say it's time to go to Raleigh and serve his community, serve the state of North Carolina, and try to get these things resolved in a fair.
Are there one or two issues, John, that you see yourself differing the most from Representative Fisher on?
I'm not running against Representative Fisher. I'm running for John Carroll, and so I'm not here to try to criticize her.
I hear you've been working really hard in terms of knocking on doors and holding barbecues. Can you tell us a little bit about what you have planned between now and the next 50 days, I guess?
Sure. We're taking our campaign out to the people. We're giving them an opportunity to come by and be able to meet me in person, have a hamburger, hot dog, and been very successful in being able to get people out. I've had people show up in wheelchairs and walkers, and young people, old people, people with part of the Republican Party, part of the Democratic Party, unaffiliated. It's everybody. We have a big event in North Buncombe this coming Saturday. We're going to be serving at the North Buncombe Middle School from 2 to 6:30 And so we invite people to come to that. We've sent out invitations, and we've tried to make it as public as we could.
How do you think the Republicans are going to do this year? I've always respected your handicapping ability on these races. Usually you're right. Is there a race that's particularly competitive, you'd say, this year?
I really think that all the races are going to be competitive this year. I think what's going on in Washington and across the country gives the Republicans a little bit of an edge. But for someone to assume that you're going to win just because of what's going on nationally, that's a false security, in my opinion. I'm going to run as hard as I can. I'm going to put my message out there in front of the people. They can vote for me or not vote for me. You know, it's just that simple. I'm here as a public servant to the community in the state of North Carolina, and I want to do the right thing for these people.
John, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks.